The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration replaces a prior one Kia initiated in 2024. Certain Tellurides from the 2020 to 2024 model years are affected. The front power seat motor of these vehicles may overheat due to a stuck slide knob. To address the hazard, Kia's new fix will be for dealers to install an electronic fuse assembly free of charge. Keith Peters reporting.
It's a World Cup semifinal lineup for the ages. England and Argentina playing on Wednesday. France plays Spain in the first semifinal. That's on Tuesday. News and analysis at townhall.com. Virginia's attempted assault weapon ban has apparently backfired. Correspondent Ken Lorman.
Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger signed a ban on modern sporting rifles and standard capacity magazines, but it triggered a massive surge in gun sales, with background checks up 241% in June alone compared to the previous year. Legal challenges have partially blocked enforcement, while sales data shows more such rifles in circulation now than before the ban attempt. Ken Lorman reporting.
A proposed legal settlement with the U.S. government would require the Keystone Pipeline Systems operator, Canada-based Southbow, to pay a civil penalty of nearly $27 million over a major oil spill in Kansas. That 2002 rupture dumped nearly 13,000 barrels of heavy crude into a creek in Washington County. The company disputes the allegations. More on these stories at townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And good morning, and welcome to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are broadcasting live from our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. It is Monday morning, July 13th, 2026. It's time for the Morning Rundown, which is brought to you every weekday by our very good friends at the Glock Store, glockstore.com, located just a few miles from the airport right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Here we go. Here is the Morning Rundown for Monday, July 13th, 2026. Number one, Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican from South Carolina, just finishing up his fourth term, died Saturday night of an aortic dissection after traveling back from Ukraine the previous day. Number two, we'll talk about the political consequences of his death right after the Morning Rundown. Number three, at the bottom of the hour here, Dr. Omar Hamada, who was with us on Friday, at the same time that Lindsey Graham was touring a munitions factory in Ukraine. Dr. Hamada focuses on, he's our Live to 100 expert. He will talk about Lindsey Graham's cause of death was an aortic dissection and what might have been done to prevent it and what warning signs it might be for you individually. Lindsey Graham died at the age of 71 on Saturday. Number four, the Iran controversy heats up, bombings back and forth, and now Jeb Bush says the Iranians have 300 military drones in Cuba within striking distance of the United States of America. Number five, this is crazy. CNBC says Tennessee has the worst quality of life in the USA. Of all 50 states, they rank Tennessee 50th. This, of course, is laughably ridiculous. Tennessee State Senate Majority Leader Jack Johnson will be here in hour two to talk about how silly and stupid the CNBC guy who wrote this. I think it's what last name is Cohn. Stan Cohn, I think. I'll get his name. Scott Cohn. Scott Cohn is the guy who did this. He lives in Santa Cruz, California, which is a disaster. And look, I put in a message to Scott Cohn and say, come and defend your laughably ridiculous rating of Tennessee as the worst place to live in the United States. It's the best place by every measure. It's just what it does is it shows you how stupid CNBC is. Number six, speaking of stupid, Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell lawyering up after we asked for documents explaining what that $1.5 million he's giving to those pro-illegal alien nonprofits is used for. What is it used for? He won't tell us. Number 7, this is kind of fun. Actress Patricia Heaton, you know her from The Middle, Everybody Loves Raymond. She lives in the Nashville area. She's got a new TV pilot program. It's close to my heart. It's called Public Interest. It's basically Law and Order, where attorneys are representing the average citizen in public interest by public interest law firms. You know, like we've been represented multiple times in lawsuits against Metro Nashville government, Metro Nashville Police Department, against the FBI when it was run by Joe Biden. Yeah, I think that'll be fun. We're going to try to get around and talk about that. So there you go. That is the morning rundown for Monday, July 13th, 2026, brought to you by our friends at the Glock Store. Now, I want to talk to you about this thing called OSITE August events. They're happening at the Glock Store. It's the OSITE VIP experience, Friday, August 7th, noon to 5. Now, you know, you're going to be very busy getting out the vote in the Republican primary, in the primaries. Thursday, August 6th, you need a little rest and relaxation. Get the first look the following day at the latest OSITE optics and exclusive access to an incredible meet, greet, and probe photo shoot with the hilarious gun guy. He's a YouTube sensation. Short Shot Tony. I just love the name. Short Shot Tony. I got to meet this guy. We're going to be there. And the USPSA's youngest grandmaster with 24 national championships and 8, count them 8, world records, Justine Williams. You'll be hands-on with OSITE optics in the Shoot 270 shooting rooms. Get expert CCW tips and tactics. Learn red dot install and bore sighting techniques, and enjoy a delicious catered lunch. And you'll get a VIP gift bag worth over, $2,000. That includes a brand new OSITE optic. Go to glockstore.com/VIP to get your tickets. That's glockstore.com/VIP. And if Friday, August 7th doesn't work for you, come to OSITE Day on Saturday, August 8th with hands-on range time, great giveaways, exclusive in-store discounts, free OSITE swag, and more. That's OSITE August at glockstore.com. Glock Store, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere. All right, well, the sad news late Saturday night. Lindsey Graham, age 71, died. It was, according to the initial report from the medical examiner in the District of Columbia, it was an aortic dissection. This is, I think, the same thing that actor John Ritter died of many years ago. Donald Trump called in to meet the press. Meet the press where Lindsey Graham was scheduled to appear on Sunday morning. But he died Saturday night at his house on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. Here's clip 2, Donald Trump talking about the passing of Lindsey Graham.
President Trump, thank you for joining us, and my condolences to you.
Well, thank you. He's a tough one to lose. He was great. He was unique in every way, actually.
He was, Mr. President, and I know that we are all just absorbing this news. We are all in shock. Can you tell us, Mr. President, how you received this news and your immediate gut reaction when you heard it?
So what makes it even stranger is that I got a call last night sometime at, the early evening, maybe in the 7s, and he called and he said, we're all set for the Save America Act. He was pushing the Save America Act like crazy. He got back, said he just landed from Ukraine. I said, that's a long trip to make. He said, he sounded a little tired, but perfect, but a little bit tired. I had a right to be. And he was a worker. He was really a worker. But he sounded great, actually. But he actually said he was tired. But he wanted to pass the Save America Act. And I said, well, we're going to get it done, Lindsey. We're going to get it done. I'll see you soon. We thought maybe we might even meet today. And then that was it. And that was, very around the time. It couldn't have been much longer. It could have been his last call. I don't know exactly. But I got a message about 1 o'clock in the morning from one of the people at his office that he had passed away. I said, you got it. I just can't believe it. He was like a member of the family to me. It's very tough, actually. It's amazing.
Mr. President,
He was such an advocate. He was, if he wanted to get something, and he had a unique ability. He was able to deal with Democrats and Republicans. If I had a problem, a real problem, I wouldn't often ask. But if I had a problem with a Democrat, he could work it out. He was a great politician, actually.
He really was. On Friday, here he was in the Ukraine. Friday, clip number 4.
So when I get back to Washington, I'm going to go with Senator Blumenthal to the Republican and Democratic leader to see if we can find time to move this Russian sanctions package that would give tools to President Trump to help end this war.
Well, that is a great ambition, which he will not fulfill. Lindsey Graham, dead at the age of 71. Back with more. What are the political consequences of this? I'm Michael Patrick Leahy.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait, and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-780-3599. 800-780-3599. 800-780-3599.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The Trump administration has brought positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. If we really want to make America healthy again, well, that starts at home. And that's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from the Wellness Company doctors all the time, and you know their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy, giving you the opportunity to make sure you're prepared for whatever happens with their prescription medical kits. Additionally, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products, from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more. Make America healthy again starts at home. Do your part and protect the health of you and your family. Live a healthier, longer, and more satisfying life. Go to twc.health/Godzilla and order. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Use promo code Godzilla to save 10% today.
Congratulations to my friend Michael Patrick Leahy on 9 years of journalistic excellence. I'm Lenny McGill, owner and founder of the Glock Store here in Nashville, Tennessee, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy's Tennessee Star Network for over 5 years. When we started, he was on just one local station. Now, he's on 20 stations. His motto, find the truth and report it. And as long as he sticks to that, we'll stick to being a sponsor. And next year, Michael, let's have a party for you right here at the Glock Store.
I'm Brent Taylor, and I approve this message.
President Trump stands up to China, and he needs more conservative fighters to join him. In the state Senate, Brent Taylor voted for a tough new law banning foreign enemies like China from purchasing American farmland. He stands with President Trump to defend America's farmers and protect our vital agriculture industries from our enemies. Send a conservative fighter to Congress who never backs down. Vote Brent Taylor in the August 6th Republican primary. Paid for by Brent Taylor for Tennessee.
250 years ago, following an extraordinary victory that shook the globe, these newly forged Americans walked off the battlefield to create something unique in the world, a government that values individual liberty and justice, a system of laws built on limiting power and holding the mighty to account. They were young, they were bold, and together they wrote a document that changed everything. That document still stands, and 250 years later, the question remains, can we keep it? This October in Brentwood, Tennessee, students in grades 8 through 12 have a chance to answer that question and compete for a $10,000 Grand Champion Education Scholarship. More than $17,000 in education scholarships will be awarded in all. The 2026 National Constitution Bee, Saturday, October 24th, Spring Hill Suites, Marriott, Brentwood, Tennessee. Register now at nationalconstitutionbee.org. That's nationalconstitutionbee.org.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Senator Lindsey Graham has died. He died of an aortic dissection at the age of 71 late Saturday night after spending all day Friday in Ukraine touring a munitions factory, then talking with Zelensky, giving a press conference. I mean, that's a long plane trip. And so I guess he came in early Saturday morning and died that night after talking briefly with President Trump. Now, he has served in the United States Senate since 2002. This is the end of his fourth term. He's up for re-election. He easily won a primary. He would have been easily re-elected. We'll talk about what happens next. There's going to be an interim appointment who will serve until January of 2027, and then there'll be a primary August 11th to determine who the nominee will be to compete in the November general election against a Dr. Anna Andrews, the Democrat there. I mean, it's going to be likely a Republican state, but still, let me tell you why Lindsey Graham, the president said this best. He was an intense advocate. Remember, he went to the University of South Carolina School of Law. His first job was as a judge advocate general for the United States Air Force, and it did a pretty good job there. He spent 4 years in Europe. He was the head of prosecution in Europe for the Air Force. That's not chopped liver. And then he came back, and I think he won, practiced law, 95 elected to the U.S. House in South Carolina, 2002 elected to the U.S. Senate. His most important moment in the United States Senate was his defense of Brett Kavanaugh in 2018. You know, they came after all these ridiculous charges against Kavanaugh, bogus. And he ended up getting confirmed, but it was very contentious. And the left just pulled out all stops to try to smear him based upon nothing. And Lindsey Graham turned the tide with this speech in the Senate Judiciary Committee. Clip 5.
If you wanted an FBI investigation, you could have come to us. What you want to do is destroy this guy's life, hold this seat open, and hope you win in 2020. You've said that, not me. You've got nothing to apologize for. When you see Sotomayor and Kagan, tell them that Lindsey said hello, because I voted for them. I would never do to them what you've done to this guy. This is the most unethical sham since I've been in politics. And if you really wanted to know the truth, You sure as hell wouldn't have done what you've done to this guy. Are you a gang rapist?
No.
I cannot imagine what you and your family have gone through. Boy, y'all want power. God, I hope you never get it. I hope the American people can see through this sham, that you knew about it and you held it. You had no intention of protecting Dr. Ford. None. She's as much of a victim as you are. God, I hate to say it because these have been my friends. But let me tell you, when it comes to this, you're looking for a fair process. You came to the wrong town at the wrong time, my friend. Do you consider this a job interview?
The advice and consent role is like a job interview.
Consider that you've been through a job interview.
I've been through a process of advice and consent under the Constitution. Which
Would you say you've been through hell?
I've been through hell and then some.
This is not a job interview.
Yeah.
This is hell.
This
is going to destroy the ability of good people to come forward because of this crap. Your high school yearbook. You have interacted with professional women all your life, not one accusation. You're supposed to be Bill Cosby when you're a junior and senior in high school. And all of a sudden you got over it. It's been my understanding that if you drug women and rape them for 2 years in high school, you probably don't stop. Here's my understanding. If you lived a good life, people would recognize it, like the American Bar Association has the gold standard.
Okay, so Lindsey Graham then led the defense of Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh was confirmed barely. Susan Collins actually is the one who stood up after that and gave a speech. And I think, Lindsey Graham talked about what he did was to advocate a network. My guess is Lindsey Graham worked with Susan Collins and got her to the point where she gave that strong speech in favor of Kavanaugh, and that got him over the top. And thank goodness he's on the bench. Interestingly enough, Graham voted in favor of Elena Kagan and in favor of Sonia Sotomayor, but against Ketanji Brown Jackson, because Ketanji Brown Jackson is a terrible judge and shouldn't be on the Supreme Court, but she is. Now, what's the process here? What's the political process? Under South Carolina law, the governor, Henry McMaster, will appoint an interim senator who will serve from now until January 2027. And then there will be a special primary election, August 11th, to select the nominee who will run in November. Now, I think there's something out there that I don't know if it's confirmed, but remember Lindsey's younger sister, Darlene, 9 years younger. She was 13 when her father and mother died, and Lindsey was 21. Lindsey basically became her guardian and then adopted her when he was in the Air Force so she could get his health benefits. She actually is a very accomplished public relations executive in South Carolina. Her name is Darlene Graham Norden. There's some claims on the internet that Governor McMaster might appoint her to the interim Senate seat. There would be some support for that. He can do whatever he wants. There are political considerations, however. And one of those is, wouldn't you appoint somebody who would be a candidate and likely announced for the primary on August 11th, who could be a strong general election candidate? Now, the candidates are those who've said that they want to do it. Nancy Mace, she's thinking of running. She wouldn't do well. She's a congresswoman, a little bit off kilter sometimes off her meds, right? Very intense, but a little bit off. She actually finished, fifth in the gubernatorial primary just a couple months ago. Mark Lynch is a businessman, appliance repair executive. He ran against Graham in the primary in June. He got 29% of the vote. I don't think that dog's going to hunt. And then the lieutenant governor, Pamela Yvette, who made the runoff for governor, but then got destroyed by Attorney General Alan Wilson in the runoff. She was kind of Trump endorsed, as was Alan Wilson. She might be the top option for a short-term appointment. There's some questions about how conservative she is. She's not a native of South Carolina. She only moved there in 2007. I don't know. I don't know about that one. Joe Wilson, the congressman, father of Alan Wilson, who is the gubernatorial nominee and current attorney general. And then Ralph Norman, Congress, very conservative. I think he finished in third in the gubernatorial primary. It'll be interesting to see what happens here. I don't even, part of me says, it would be nice if his sister finished out his term. But you have to think about political advantage. Whoever gets the interim seat, if they want to run in the primary, would have a real heads up. And so I think that might be the way they go. I don't know who it's going to be. When we come back, Dr. Omar Hamada, our Live to 100 expert, is going to talk about the cause of death of Lindsey Graham and what warning signs might be there for you and me. Back with Dr. Hamada, if all goes well, after this.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
Ponder this. All of God's children, you and I, have been created in God's own image. It's hard to fathom, isn't it? One thing we do know about God is that He is perfectly free. So He created us perfectly free to follow Him and free to deny Him. We have the choice. Our choice, however, has eternal consequences. It is the biggest decision in your life. I'm sure that most of you, if not all of you, want the final elevator ride to go up, not down. How we live on this earth determines our eternal destination, up or down, heaven or hell, and yes, hell is real. God has rules for us to follow in order to be admitted into His heavenly home. Just like the rules you may have for people to enter your home, maybe you do not allow smoking or profane language. God too has rules. There are 10 of them. We are called to obey His rules, not to change them, adapt them, or ignore them. The 10 Commandments guide our entry into eternal life. We must obey His rules in order to enter His heavenly home. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning on the John Fredericks Radio Network. The Flatline describes a main line of resistance in your soul, built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday morning for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, and education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, heard here every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. on the John Fredericks Radio Network. Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
I'm Scott Desjardins, and I approve this message.
We will make America great again.
President Donald Trump has given his complete and total endorsement to Congressman Scott Desjardins, saying he fights for our military, veterans, law enforcement, and the Second Amendment.
I'm honored to be endorsed by President Trump. I know together we've got to control inflation, secure our borders, and strengthen our military.
Scott Desjardins, representing the people of the 4th Congressional District.
With your support, we will make America great again. Paid for by friends of Scott Desjardins.
Johnny Garrett's not some out-of-touch D.C. politician. Johnny Garrett's a Tennessean, a Christian conservative, and a proud father of 3 who's sick of the far left ruining our country with their radical policies. Conservative Johnny Garrett is proudly pro-life, pro-Trump to his core, and will always put America first. In Congress, Garrett will fight to lower taxes, cut government waste, and will always back the blue and support law and order. Garrett's fought for us in Nashville, and that's what he'll do in Congress. No to biological boys playing girl sports. No to communist China buying our farmland. And no to criminal illegals invading our state. Because with Johnny Garrett, what you see is what you get. It's time to bring more Tennessee to D.C. Send Trump conservative Johnny Garrett to Congress.
I'm Johnny Garrett, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Johnny Garrett for Congress.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
We are joined on a newsmaker line by a very good friend, Dr. Omar Hamada, our Live to 100 medical expert. Dr. Hamada, on Friday, when you were on this program, Lindsey Graham was alive and in Ukraine touring a munitions factory, giving a press release and a press statement and talking with Vladimir Zelensky. Today, he is dead. He died at the age of 71 of an aortic dissection late Saturday night. What can you tell us about an aortic dissection?
Well, Michael, you know, just like you and I have talked, this is another thing that can kill you immediately. But again, if we keep doing the things that we're supposed to be doing as far as preventive medicine, there's really no reason for most people to die of this suddenly. An aortic dissection is basically where the wall of the aorta kind of shears off as blood gets behind it because of an injury to the lining, because of vascular disease. And it basically shuts off blood flow to anything past that point, what we call distal to that point. And so the heart's pumping blood, but it's not going anywhere except into the walls of the aortic vessel. And it's not getting to the rest of the body. So it's pretty much immediately fatal. But just like we've talked about, if he had had, for example, a whole body MRI or some preventative scans like that, the precursors to that would have been picked up and it could have been avoided. When people have aortic disease, we can replace the aorta with Gore-Tex grafts and other types of materials. So he could still be alive had he done the right thing at the right time.
So the other elements on this, the background is his father died of a heart attack back at the age of 69, I believe. He also, apparently, according to some reports, had a history of blood pressure issues. And now we don't know, I guess, in terms of the tests that you take, maybe one of the tests that I hear about, and I've taken this test, it's called a calcium score. And now my understanding is that that the calcium score is a test of arteriosclerosis in the heart, cardiovascular area. And I guess the range is like from 0 to 1,000. I took it, and mercifully, I have a 0 score. Would this be one of the scores that every United States senator would have taken with his medical care?
No, they are not taking it. I think it's just because insurance doesn't pay for it. And most people aren't doing what insurance doesn't pay for, which is a huge fatal mistake, potentially fatal. Plus, the calcium score is insufficient. It's a good flag. If you have a high calcium score, you have active disease. But it's missing all the soft plaques and all the other types of intimal damage. And the intima is part of the lining of the vessel. Damage that you're not going to see with just a calcium score. Calcium scores are those plaques that have been calcified or stabilized by the body. So it indicates burden of disease, but you're still missing the soft plaques that could be much more of a danger. And I just want to point out, I know this may be a twist that you weren't expecting, but maybe you are. You know where I am this week. We've been talking a lot about stuff like this. There has been rumor about Novichok and other types of Russian interference that might have been responsible. I know it's all conspiracy theory, but what I have discovered is that there are multiple individuals in the United States over the past 2 to 3 years that have been assassinated with Novichok by Russian agents that we are just not hearing about in the media.
Tell us about Novichok.
It's a poison that's pretty much immediately fatal, and it mimics a heart attack, and people have heart attacks and die. And they think it's just a normal cause of death. They just had a heart attack, but it's actually a poison that causes vasospasm that causes the heart to stop because of a heart attack. So who knows? Who knows what actually happened?
Could the use of Novichok be detected in an autopsy?
I don't know enough about it. I don't know. That's a great question.
How is Novichok administered?
Orally. So, you get a drop or two in a tea or coffee, I believe. And, people don't realize what's happening. And that's kind of it.
So would there be any other indications of this that we would be on the lookout for? No. Not
until you have the heart attack. I mean, I think it's pretty quick in terms of onset of action.
Mm-hmm.
So after it's administered, somebody, starts having symptoms, and then before long, they're dead.
Well, this would be something to look at. I know the FBI is looking at it. It does now. On the other hand, here's the thing. So Lindsey Graham, he didn't look unhealthy. I don't know if you'd say he looked particularly healthy in his on Friday. You've seen the clips of his giving that press conference in the Ukraine. He said a couple things. Number one, he apparently the president talked to him like half an hour before he died. And apparently he said, I think we can pass the SAVE Act. And I think we've got the makings of a peace deal in Ukraine. These are all big deals. No question about it.
Right.
My question to you, though, is, despite the fact that his father died at the age of 68, that he apparently had blood pressure issues, he had a robust schedule. Is there anything to look at in terms of contributory factor, the fact that he was flying back and forth to Ukraine, and literally he must have flown out of Ukraine Friday evening. It's a long trip. And I don't know if you fly directly or if you've got, travel and then flight, ground travel and then air flight. I heard one report that said you got to take a train to Poland and then a flight. That's long travel. Would that travel have been any possible contributory factor here?
Certainly. It increases stress, decreases sleep. So his pressure is probably going to be elevated. And then also his stress level will be elevated, cortisol elevated. So it puts him at a higher risk of a cardiac event. Plus, being sedentary for so long places him at a higher risk of deep venous thrombosis. So, that wasn't mentioned, but that's another potential issue, is that he could have had clots that were thrown from his lower extremities up into his lungs.
Would an autopsy reveal that?
Yes, an autopsy would reveal that.
So I guess we had a preliminary report from the medical examiner that said aortic dissection.
Right.
But my guess is there will be a more thorough autopsy.
Correct. That would be my hope. And the point I want our listeners to take away from this, Michael, is that this isn't always preventable, but so many of these things that people are dying of, I mean, we're all going to die, right? We're all going to die of something. But at such a young age, speaking, in terms of where we are in society today, we've got to say that so many of these things are we have the ability to pre-diagnose them and to avoid them and to live much longer lives. I mean, he could have had another 20 years. If we had caught this last year and repaired his vessel, he could still have another 20 years. There was no reason for him to die so young.
My takeaway on this is, even though I have a 0 calcium score, I probably ought to go and get one of those whole body image scans, right?
Yeah, we've been talking about that for a few months, Michael. Come on.
This is now, okay, you're right. I think I'm just going to have to do it. It's too bad they don't have something here in Nashville.
I talked to them. They're planning on it. They said that they were going to have a facility in Nashville late 2026 or in 2027. So the plan is that they will.
So the most convenient thing for me to do would be, and I'll tell you, I thought, you know what we'll do? We'll do an episode of Michael Patrick Leahy interviews as I go in and do this whole body scan. I think that'll work, right? And it's just like, by the way, much better this than a colonoscopy type thing.
Right.
Which is, didn't Katie Couric do that once? But, or maybe, something like this, so you look at it and you say, well, if you're a 71-year-old man and you're in a high-stress position, even if there's no family history of heart attack, it's probably a good idea to get this whole body scan, it seems to me.
Right. Yep, I agree.
Well, I am very thankful to you, Dr. Hamada, that you are available to talk to us about this so quickly. I hope that we'll go back to our regular schedule.
Yes,
which
we
is
will.
The second hour of the first Friday of every month, unless there's another event like this that happens, and we really appreciate it. And thank you for all your great advice, Dr. Omar Hamada, our medical expert on Live to 100. Thanks for joining us today. And I think we just lost him, which is good timing. Yeah, I know he was sort of in transit at an undisclosed location. That's pretty serious stuff. Well, I guess we ought to. The other person who passed away, he'd been ill for a while, is the actor Sam Neill, from Jurassic, the great actor, an Australian, and gosh, we're gonna have to talk about things going forward next. Hey, here's something going forward: Iranian drones in Cuba. Holy cow. Back with that after this.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
All right, folks, I need you to do something right now. Go to johnfredericksradio.com and take our brand new 2028 Republican presidential straw poll. Who do you want leading the ticket? Don't let the elites decide. Make your voice heard. While you're there, weigh in on two huge issues: eminent domain reform and President Trump's tariff policies. Are they protecting American workers or hurting growth? This is your movement, your vote, your voice, your choice. Go to johnfredericksradio.com right now and take the poll.
Ponder this. Have you ever been so hungry that not only is your stomach growling, but you become lightheaded and shaky? Your blood sugar has hit an all-time low. It seems that when this occurs, no amount of food can satisfy this type of hunger. When hunger reaches this level, your normally nice personality may become agitated, impatient, or even angry. You need food and you need it fast. Did you know that our souls need daily nourishment as well? A hungry soul might be inclined to give into temptations and commit sin without a care about its eternal destiny. When we let our souls grow hungry, we must feed them with prayers, recollection, and sacred scripture. Catholics in the state of grace have the additional benefit of access to feeding our souls with a heavenly food. Only in the Catholic Church is Jesus truly present in every worthy reception of Holy Communion. He is the bread of life. His words, "Come and see." I'm Susie Kelly and I am passionately Catholic.
Congratulations to my friend Michael Patrick Leahy on 9 years of journalistic excellence. I'm Lenny McGill, owner and founder of the Glock Store here in Nashville, Tennessee, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy's Tennessee Star Network for over 5 years. When we started, he was on just one local station. Now, he's on 20 stations. His motto, find the truth and report it. And as long as he sticks to that, we'll stick to being a sponsor. And next year, Michael, let's have a party for you right here at the Glock Store.
I'm Brent Taylor, and I approve this message.
Crime and violence reign in America's big cities, but conservative Brent Taylor is fighting the spread of violent crime. Taylor led the fight against Tennessee's only Soros-backed district attorney and won. Sponsored the law, holding DAs accountable when they refused to prosecute criminals. Passed the law, ending cashless bail in Tennessee. Send a conservative fighter to Congress who never backs down. Vote Brent Taylor in the August 6th Republican primary. Paid for by Brent Taylor for Tennessee.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Okay, Iran. Got to talk about Iran. Ceasefire off. This thing has gone on forever. And look, the president keeps saying we've crushed their Navy, etc. Yeah, and that's true. But this negotiation thing with these guys, I mean, come on. These guys are... okay, we killed the first level of leadership. We killed the second level of leadership. Now it's the third level. I think the third level is even more hardcore, and I think we've diminished their nuclear capabilities. There's some conflict as to whether or not, how much that's been diminished. But the problem you see right now is that they're, on and off, and they're doing the rope-a-dope on the Straits of Hormuz, where 20% of the world's oil, crude oil, is shipped through, right? So that's not a good thing, not even close to a good thing, is it? And but there's going to have to be some bombing back and forth. But so far, we've had just 13 U.S. casualties. Asterisk. I don't see how this thing is resolved ultimately without more military action, and I don't see how it's ending unless the hardcore Iranian Revolutionary Guard is replaced as leadership. That's just my view on it. Now, here is one really very interesting aspect of this. Jeb Bush, over the weekend, he's got an involvement, former, governor of Florida, brother of George W. Bush, who got, just his clock cleaned in the 2016 primaries by Donald Trump. Jeb Bush is on this group. I think it's called Committee to Stop Nuclear Arms from Going to Iran. And he gave a speech the other day and dropped something in that speech that is very alarming. We're going to play that clip right now. Here is clip number, what number are we here? Well, clip number 9, Jeb Bush.
It's an amazing device, and I want to thank Mark Wallace for his incredible commitment to calling out the regime over the last 20 years. I've been proud to be the chairman of United Against the Nuclear Iran for the last 4 years. And we've done a lot of interesting work for sure, but this may be number one in terms of highlighting the risk and the threat. I also want to applaud President Trump and his efforts. There's been a lot of, the press has covered this in a strange way in my regard, in my belief. We have decimated Iran's capability to make mischief in the region. There's no doubt about it that they have, their military has not been decapitated completely, but 80% of its capabilities in terms of building these devices, building other missiles, their Navy has been wiped out, and I applaud the Trump administration for the work that they've done. Iran has been a consistent threat to the security interests of our country, certainly of Israel, and now we see that it's not just Israel and the United States, but the Gulf region as well. I also want to point out that the press reports are that there are 300 of these in Cuba. And we have very good defense capabilities. So this is not a press conference to scare the bejesus out of people. The United States does have capabilities in defending the homeland for sure, but we have seen how drones organized in clusters can get through the defense capabilities that we've seen in the war in the Middle East as well. So this is a threat, and I think it's important to recognize that Iran has consistently been working with Cuba, Venezuela prior to the departure of Maduro from the regime, creating instability in not just in Cuba, but certainly in the region. Hezbollah's influence, supported by Iran, has had a significant impact across South America and in Central America. So we're on the verge of creating a much more peaceful world by standing up against this aggression. And the evidence of this, I don't know if you also saw this morning.
Think about this: 300 military-capable drones provided by Iran to Cuba. They have a range of like 1,000 miles. Well, they can take a powerful payload, and they launch those drones. They can hit every city in Florida. They can hit Atlanta. I think they could even hit Nashville. That is a national security threat, and it heightens the fact that and ultimately, relatively soon, Cuba's got to come down, and that regime needs to be taken out. So, although I know President Trump has focused on his message of America first and peace, I think the way to maintain it is ultimately we got to take down the communist regime in Cuba. A, that's sort of step number one. And then B, got to take down the Iranian Guard, the crazies in Iran. That's much more complicated. But this rope-a-dope back, I don't know the answer how to do that militarily. But this rope-a-dope back and forth, just not cutting it. Hey, when we come back, if all goes well, our very good friend, State Senator Jack Johnson, Majority Leader of the Tennessee State Senate, we're going to react to CNBC. CNBC says Tennessee is the worst quality of life state in the union. That is laughably ridiculous. We're going to laugh about how stupid CNBC is with Jack Johnson when we get back. Yes.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
What happens in Virginia doesn't stay in Virginia. It influences policy and policymakers nationwide. The VirginiaStar.com shines a light on the issues in VA that become issues for the USA, with insightful commentary that gets to the fact of the matter. The VirginiaStar.com is your source of wisdom and truth, locally, statewide, and nationally. Log on today and every day. The VirginiaStar.com. The VirginiaStar.com.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks on Getter, Truth Social, or Twitter at JF Radio Show.
This is WJFN, Goochland, Bonaire, Chester, and WJFV, Portsmouth.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm John Scott. Ukrainian President Zelensky due in Paris on Monday for talks with 24 European leaders helping Kyiv fight Russia's invasion, with the war now in its 5th year. An update from reporter Bernie Bennett.
European foreign ministers were also meeting separately in Brussels, where they were expected to discuss Ukraine's needs and Russia's threats to the continent. Both Kyiv and its European backers are keen to press home Ukraine's recent successes and compel Russian President Vladimir Putin to negotiate an end to the fighting, although Moscow has shown no willingness to compromise despite a year-long peace effort by the Trump administration. President Donald Trump's pledge last week to give Ukraine a license to produce Patriot air defense systems could mark a major breakthrough for Kyiv. Bernie Bennett reporting.
Great sadness in Washington with the death of Lindsey Graham. The 71-year-old South Carolina senator died Saturday night. Fellow South Carolina Senator Tim Scott.
Here's a guy raised in the back of a bar. He's 19 years old at the University of South Carolina. Within 15 months, his mother dies, and then his father has a massive heart attack, and he passes as well. Lindsey adopts his 13-year-old sister and becomes a surrogate father to his sister. That pain and misery led him into public service. And he started public service because he wanted to make sure that no one felt invisible.
Senator Scott appearing on ABC's This Week. Senator Graham died after a rupture in his aorta. The death toll from 2 earthquakes that struck Venezuela on June 24th, up to 4,490. According to National Assembly President Jorge Rodriguez. SRN News and our parent company Salem Media are partnering with Christian nonprofit Food for the Poor to rush emergency aid to victims of the tragedy. Listeners wanting to help can find an online banner at the top of our website at srnnews.com. More on these stories from townhall.com.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cameron. Christian Healthcare Ministries is not another health insurance policy. If you're tired of year-long contracts and pointless restrictions, CHM offers anytime enrollment on your schedule and at your convenience. With CHM, you're paying half the cost of a traditional health insurance plan. So that puts more money back into your budget for everyday needs. Plus, you'll have access to CHM's care solutions for virtual appointments, prescription savings, surgery support, and more. My family and I joined in 2018, and it's changed our lives for the better. We love paying way less while helping other believers afford their medical bills. Take the leap of faith and see why Christians across the nation are better with CHM.
Get started by calling 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS for a 50% credit towards your first month. That's 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS.
Graduation rates soaring at the Bureau of Indian Education schools.
The U.S. agency that oversees dozens of schools serving Native Americans is reporting more on-time high school graduations than ever. The Bureau of Indian Education says nearly 80% of high schoolers graduated within 4 years in 2025. That's up from only half a decade before. The Trump administration attributes that boost in part to a push to fix flawed data collection, though some educators at tribally controlled BIE schools credit their own innovations, like expanded virtual learning and career training options for students. I'm Savannah Peters.
Disney's live-action Moana, the top movie at the box office. Internationally, it earned $52 million for a global total of $95 million, but that movie cost a reported $250 million to produce. News and analysis at townhall.com. Sam Neill has died at age 78. He was a versatile actor who moved from art films to blockbusters like Jurassic Park and The Hunt for Red October. He said he had a rare type of lymphoma in 2023. His family said he was cancer-free when he died. An unusual ejection in a WNBA game.
Never let it be said women aren't fighters. Benicia Laney Hamilton was tossed from the New York Liberty's 93-91 loss to Toronto after she threw a shoe that hit opposing player Marina Mabry in the back. Laney Hamilton was actually trying to get the sneaker back to a teammate after it had fallen off. The errant toss ended up hitting Mabry, and after a review, the officials gave her a technical foul, her second of the game, for, quote, throwing a projectile on the court. Jason Walker reporting.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. It's time for some fun. Here in studio, our very good friend, the Senate Majority Leader of the Tennessee State Senate, Senator Jack Johnson from Williamson County. Welcome, Senator.
Good to be with you, Michael. It's been a while.
It's been a while. You've been very busy. Congratulations on all the great work the Tennessee General Assembly has done. And what a great place Tennessee is.
Well, I think that it is. Apparently there's some that don't think so. But I think it's a very special place. I think we're the best managed, most conservative state in America.
And the best quality of life in the country, which is why so many people are moving here. And yet, a knucklehead by the name of Scott Cohn he's been working with CNBC for since 2007, and he does this, best states for business list, so been doing it since 2007. Tennessee ranks number 9 in terms of states for business, but they have like multiple factors. They have a factor called quality of life, which counts for 15% of the score. By the way, this Scott Cohn character lives in, wait for it, Santa Cruz, California. I got more on this guy. So he's put out the ratings, and by their measures, the great state of Tennessee, the best state in the United States of America. This guy, this Scott Cohn guy from CNBC, has made a laughably ridiculous ranking of Tennessee as 50th. That is the worst state in the United States of America for quality of life. How stupid is this guy, Jack Johnson?
Well, as I talk to my constituents, and I'm traveling around the state a lot, have been for the last several weeks, and as I talk to people, whether it's West Tennessee, Upper East Tennessee, certainly here in Middle Tennessee, You have a couple of different factions. You have people who've been here for a long time,
right,
and they love Tennessee, and they love the direction Tennessee is going. And then you have, obviously, we have a lot of people moving here. We're one of the most moved to states in America, and it's interesting to talk to those people. And by and large, they are so grateful to be here. They're fleeing states like California, New York, Illinois, New Jersey, and it could be for a variety of reasons. It could be for taxes, a bad business climate. Companies are wanting to relocate here. But generally, people, I think, that are moving here are very content with our quality of life. And some of the metrics in there, and I'm sure we'll get into some of this, but it frustrates me. We do rank sometimes in terms of crime not that great. Well, why is that? Well, it's because of Memphis, and we have a DA down there that won't prosecute crime. We have a failed judicial system down there. I know you've had my good friend Senator Brent Taylor on, who's now running for Congress, who has really highlighted that. And we have made significant strides in reducing crime down there with the help of President Donald Trump, Senator Marsha Blackburn, and others with the Memphis Safe Task Force. So we are addressing that. If you take Memphis out in their crime, we're one of the safest states in America.
Exactly. And, of course, Nashville has a crime problem as well, Metro Nashville. We'll get to that in a bit. But State Senator Taylor had a colorful phrase comparing crime in Memphis and Nashville. I won't use it here. But we have an interview with him, and you'll hear, you know what I'm talking about.
I do, yeah.
He is a guy who does a lot of colorful phrases. All right. So I've lived in Tennessee since 1991. No state income tax. It's physically beautiful. I mean, and there's lush greenery everywhere. Mountains in the east, got rivers, you got lakes. It's just a beautiful, and the people are very nice.
Yes.
You have nice people here.
Very friendly people and very welcoming. And look, at some of the growth, that's bringing its own set of challenges relative to traffic and infrastructure. There's a lot of work to be done in that regard. But if you want to own a business, if you want to raise your family, if you believe in traditional conservative values, Tennessee is a wonderful place. I would expect that someone with a more left-wing liberal bias probably doesn't look too favorably on Tennessee, and that's okay.
That's okay.
Stay in California.
Stay in California.
Stay in New York. Stay in Illinois. Stay in Chicago, wherever you want to be. But if you want good traditional conservative values and to be able to own a business or raise a family in that type of environment, Tennessee is your place.
So this Scott Cohn character, who came up with this brilliant idea, right? Been doing it for now since 2007. They do the rankings. I think just recently they've added the quality of life aspect of it. And, inclusion is a big problem, he claimed, for Tennessee. Now, I sent him, when I saw this story, and you look at the internet reaction, it's ridiculous. People are laughing at it like crazy. I mean, and the memes that are coming out are just funny. So I sent him an invitation to be on this program.
Yeah.
I said, Scott, please come on my program in Tennessee and defend your laughably ridiculous claim that Tennessee has the worst quality of life of any state. It's got the best quality of life. That's why so many people are moving here. When the phone didn't ring, Jack, I knew it was the utterly stupid Scott Cohn, who has a ranking system that put Tennessee at 50th in quality of life here. Now, my question for him is, and by the way, Scott, I know you listen to the program, but are afraid to come on because ridicule is the worst possible thing you can get in journalism or in politics, and he is very deserving of ridicule. My question for him is this: was he born stupid, or did he become stupid after studying journalism at the University of Wisconsin, after working for local television stations as an anchor, after working for NPR, or after joining CNBC? I don't know which it is. Born stupid or become stupid. But Scott Cohn of CNBC, that's the big question for you. And, if you're not afraid to face the music, come on. I don't think he's coming on.
Well, I think it's a very fair question. If you're going to make this allegation about a state like Tennessee, and there's a lot of us here working very hard to make Tennessee the wonderful place that it is, at all levels of government, all levels of the private sector and nonprofits, and we are thriving as a state. So if you're going to make that type of an allegation, the least you can do is be accountable to some people who live here who don't agree with your thesis. So I would encourage him to accept your invitation or that of someone else perhaps and come in and talk about it. One of the things I think is hilarious because, again, speaking to our growth and the fact that people are moving here, companies are coming here, and we're one of the most moved to states in America. I love some of the responses that I've seen on social media that said, yes, he's right. It's awful. Don't come here. Don't come here. It's a horrible place to live. I think, obviously, in jest because there's some people concerned about the growth that we're experiencing. But again, I don't know how much time he has spent in Tennessee or how much he's talked to actual people who live here, but I don't think Tennesseans agree with his assessment.
Well, it's not only that. Yeah, we don't care. It's funny. He said, yeah, stay away, everybody. we don't want you.
We don't have any more room.
No room there. Scott Cohn, the stupidest guy on CNBC. Scott, I'm just being objective here. I'm using my methodology for measuring stupidity among journalists. This is hurting the brand of CNBC.
Well, I don't watch CNBC. I've watched it maybe some in the past, and I think of them as being, obviously a business type of network. They talk about the markets. They talk about, stocks, bonds, and companies and earnings and all that kind of stuff. So I was very surprised that they would come out with such a laughable ranking to put us dead last.
They got a quality control problem at CNBC.
Well, there's something going on, at least in that particular regard. Because, again, look at the someone posted a map, and I think I trust it to be accurate, talking about where people are moving and the states that are losing population, and Tennessee is one of the most moved to states in America. So it just doesn't
when we come back, election day coming up, August 6th primary. Let's talk about early voting. When does it start? What have you been doing in your spare time that you have so much of? Back with our very good friend, State Senate Majority Leader Jack Johnson after this.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your sat phone. Call now.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
No one fights harder for Tennessee families and farms than Marsha Blackburn.
Marsha Blackburn, she's a fighter, a true fighter. For the people of Tennessee, she loves your state.
As Tennessee's next governor, Marsha will take on communist China and stop them from buying up 1 inch of our land.
How hard am I gonna crack down on China? Well, here's a clue.
Marsha Blackburn worked with President Trump to crack down on communist China. Now, Marsha is ready to protect Tennessee land from Chinese front companies, close China investment loopholes, and hunt down every communist who tries to defy us.
It doesn't take a fortune cookie to figure it out. Here in Tennessee, we're going to stop Communist China and protect Tennessee land.
Marsha Blackburn, Trump True, Tennessee First. Paid for and authorized by Marsha for Governor, Treasurer Glenn Jacobs.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking, free. General admission, free. Memories, priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
Congratulations to my friend Michael Patrick Leahy on 9 years of journalistic excellence. I'm Lenny McGill, owner and founder of the Glock Store here in Nashville, Tennessee, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy's Tennessee Star Network for over 5 years. When we started, he was on just one local station. Now, he's on 20 stations. His motto, find the truth and report it. And as long as he sticks to that, we'll stick to being a sponsor. And next year, Michael, let's have a party for you right here at the Glock Store.
I'm Scott Desjardins, and I approve this message.
We will make America great again.
President Donald Trump has given his complete and total endorsement to Congressman Scott Desjardins, saying he fights for our military, veterans, law enforcement, and the Second Amendment.
I'm honored to be endorsed by President Trump. I know together we've got to control inflation, secure our borders, and strengthen our military.
Scott Desjardins, representing the people of the 4th Congressional District.
With your support, we will make America great again. Paid for by friends of Scott Desjardins.
Johnny Garrett's not some out-of-touch D.C. politician. Johnny Garrett's a Tennessean, a Christian conservative, and a proud father of 3 who's sick of the far left ruining our country with their radical policies. Conservative Johnny Garrett is proudly pro-life, pro-Trump to his core, and will always put America first. In Congress, Garrett will fight to lower taxes, cut government waste, and will always back the blue and support law and order. Garrett's fought for us in Nashville, and that's what he'll do in Congress. No to biological boys playing girl sports. No to Communist China buying our farmland. And no to criminal illegals invading our state. Because with Johnny Garrett, what you see is what you get. It's time to bring more Tennessee to D.C. Send Trump conservative Johnny Garrett to Congress.
I'm Johnny Garrett, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Johnny Garrett for Congress.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Well, our guest is a very good friend, known for many years, State Senator Jack Johnson, majority leader here. Well, it's election season coming up. Primary on Thursday, August 6th.
Early voting starts Friday.
Friday, yeah. We know this, by the way, because if you listen to our program, we have all sorts of political ads now coming on, which is good. So tell us about the process of early voting. Who can early vote? Where do you early vote? And how long can you early vote?
Yeah, so early voting starts on July 17th. Actually,
that's Friday.
That's Friday.
Yeah.
And I'd have to pull the calendar out to see how long it lasts. It's roughly 2 weeks.
So I think probably till the end of July. I think.
Right,
yeah.
And then
maybe that Friday or something.
And then Election Day itself is August 6th, and so obviously we've got a governor's gubernatorial primary. Bill Hagerty is up, although he is unopposed in his primary, but got several congressional primaries going on across the state. So
some of them are a little bit wild, aren't they?
Yeah, there are. So, and then state senate, state house. So it's a very packed ballot, and so make sure you get out and vote.
So you are not sitting at home eating bonbons during this period. Right?
No,
you are. What's your typical day like now? Because you, as the state senate majority leader, you've got, 27 Republicans, 6 Democrats.
Right.
But this is primary season.
Right.
And there are probably like a couple of stalwart conservatives that have some primary challenges. And I think you're working with those guys as well.
I am. Yeah. Amongst my caucus, We have 4 of our members that have primaries, and I think they're all going to be okay, but we're working very hard. Senator Rusty Crowe up in Upper East Tennessee has a primary challenger, Senator Adam Lowe, Senator Mark Pody, and Senator Richard Briggs, and I am fully supporting all of them in their reelection bids. They are great members, and they're working hard, have great campaigns that are underway. I sent a team of door knockers to East Tennessee yesterday.
Did you really?
Yeah.
So
to
tell us
support.
about that team of door knockers. How many
Yeah.
on the team?
Yeah.
Tell us about door knocking.
Well, so door knocking to me is such an incredibly important part of the process. It really takes, with all the TV ads and radio ads and mail pieces and all the things you get, social media, that's all very, very important, and those are all key parts of running an effective campaign. But I'm a traditionalist, and I like getting down and meeting with voters, whether it's in my own capacity as a candidate or people that I'm supporting, and that is whether it's the candidate themselves going to that door, knocking, and talking to someone on their front porch. It is really basic campaign 101, bringing it down to the basics, because you can cut through all the noise and all the stuff that everybody else is saying, and have a one-on-one conversation with a voter. So I'm a big believer in that, and I've done a lot of it, either for my own candidacy or supporting other people, and it's important for the candidate to do it, and obviously, especially in larger districts, they can't hit every door. So if you can't, the candidate can't do it specifically, it's important to have surrogates that are out there on your behalf, knocking on those doors. So it's a very important part of it. So it's an exciting time, and I know we're getting to that point. People are tired of the TV ads and the mail pieces and everything, but I encourage people to really take a good look at who's running. And full disclosure, I'm fully supporting Senator Marsha Blackburn to be our next governor, and so doing some campaigning with her across the state, and very excited about her candidacy. Selfishly, as a member of the General Assembly, I think it's really important that we have the right person in that role, and for me, that is without question Marsha Blackburn.
We had an exclusive interview with her right here in World Headquarters, and we're going to be releasing it's about 1 hour.
Yeah.
We've released clips of it. The part that I like, we did a very longer clip about the very significant role, leadership role, that Marsha Blackburn played in probably the most important policy issue that set Tennessee apart, which was stopping the state income tax.
Absolutely.
A 4-year battle.
Yep.
That started in 1999 and ended in 2002. And as we've talked about before, this was the beginning of your political engagement as a horn honker.
That's right. Absolutely. I was. I enjoy telling people I have been a protester at the state capitol, and I have been protested at the state capitol. But you're right, Marsha Blackburn. Her leadership was really, really important in that pivotal decision, and you cannot overstate it.
Oh, yeah.
And how close we came to having a state income tax.
One vote.
And had
one
vote, and had it passed, we would still have it. We'd be sitting here today trying to figure out how do we get rid of our state income tax, which, by the way, is what a lot of states are arguing about right now. We don't have to argue about that. Not only did it not pass thanks to Marsha Blackburn's leadership, but we also now have amended our constitution, our state constitution, to prohibit a state income tax. So these things are really important. And by the way, Senator Blackburn was State Senator Marsha Blackburn at that time. She held the state Senate seat that I now have the honor of holding.
County. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
And thank goodness she was there, because.
So there are two opponents in the Republican primary for governor. One of them did nothing, wasn't involved at all in that, and the other one served in the administration that was pushing for a state income tax. I'm just saying.
Right. Right.
How different Tennessee would have been had that gone through.
Well, thank goodness it didn't, because that really kind of set the framework that we now enjoy. When Senator Blackburn is out on the campaign trail, she talks about when that income tax did not pass, Tennessee was in a precarious financial position, and it forced the General Assembly and the governor at the time to set and to do a reset, basically, to put us on the path to fiscal conservatism that we now enjoy. And we can sit here today and proudly say that Tennessee is the least taxed state per capita in America and the least indebted state per capita in America. And despite what CNBC says about us, I'm very proud of that. And I think a lot of Tennesseans are proud of it, and people are moving here because of it.
The Crazy News Broadcasting Company, I think, CNBC.
CNBC.
Crazy.
I like that.
That's what it stands for, because it's like so crazy. But back to the door knocking. How many doors have you knocked on in your life?
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands. Yeah. But you know what? I enjoy it. It's a lot of work.
It's tiring.
When you're out there in July heat and it's hot and the humidity's about 100%, you get your steps in, definitely. But it's really, really an important part of the process, and I enjoy doing it.
So when you knock on a door, I think when we did this with the Beat Lamar campaign, and we've done others for other Republicans here in Tennessee and a couple other states, but when you do it, we found about 20% of the people were home. Mm-hmm. Is that what you found? Or
yeah. So the term you use in the industry is the take rate. Yeah. How many people actually come to the door, and that can be frustrating because you might knock on 10 doors and only talk to 2 or 3 people. Mm-hmm. But excuse me. But the key part of that is when they're not there. I've got my campaign literature, and I'll write a note on there. Sorry, I missed you, and leave it on their door. So they know you came by.
Yeah.
They know you came by.
Yeah.
And if they do want to talk to you, obviously they can reach out to the campaign and have that conversation afterwards. But you have to be methodical about it, and it takes a lot of time. But
most
like
people
it's important.
Are happy to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say, "Get off my lawn."
Literally out of tens of thousands of doors I've knocked on for myself and for others throughout the years. I knocked doors for Marsha Blackburn in 1998 when she was running for the state Senate.
When I first met her.
And I know she knocked on a lot of doors as well. But out of tens of thousands, I can count on one hand the number of times. And a couple of those were because I'd awakened the baby. And I don't blame them for being mad at me because I rang the doorbell.
Jack Johnson, very busy schedule. Thanks for taking the time to come and talk
Michael.
to us.
Always great to be with you.
And Tennessee, folks, #1 quality of life in the United States of America, but don't tell your liberal friends.
That's right.
Have them read CNBC. All right, we'll be back with Tom Pappert. Freddie O'Connell, mayor of Nashville, lawyering up, exercising attorney-client privilege, just wanted to give us documents about that $1.5 million going to illegal alien-friendly nonprofits. Whoa. Back with Tom Pappert after this.
Folks, this is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Soul Tea. I have recently turned 77 years old. I do not take prescription drugs. I have not had to take prescription drugs, and I attribute a lot of my good health to a product that I've been taking, which is the active ingredient in Soul Tea. It's a 22% concentration of theaflavin. We did clinical trials on it 25 years ago and found that it helped lower cholesterol. We have had many, many hundreds of letters and emails from customers telling us how it has helped them not only manage their cholesterol, but lower their triglycerides and help them on their blood pressure. And I can't tell you how much I attribute to Soul Tea for my good health at age 77. And I encourage you to go to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. And use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% off on your initial shipment of Soul Tea. And I promise you it will be a great help for your heart health. Thanks so much.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
What if you had a plan to build income outside your job? At Lifestyles Unlimited, you'll learn how people are investing in real estate to grow their income and make smarter financial choices one property at a time. Right now, join us for just $297. That's a savings of $443 off our real estate education program. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
The Trump administration has brought positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. If we really want to make America healthy again, well, that starts at home. And that's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from the Wellness Company doctors all the time, and you know their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy, giving you the opportunity to make sure you're prepared for whatever happens with their prescription medical kits. Additionally, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products, from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more. Make America healthy again starts at home. Do your part and protect the health of you and your family. Live a healthier, longer, and more satisfying life. Go to twc.health/Godzilla and order. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Use promo code Godzilla to save 10% today.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
I'm Brent Taylor, and I approve this message.
President Trump needs more fighters to join him, like conservative Brent Taylor. In the state Senate, Taylor passed a law requiring driver's license exams be conducted in English only. He sponsored the law mandating sheriffs enforce immigration detainers. Brent Taylor will work with President Trump to deport every illegal immigrant. Send a conservative fighter to Congress who never backs down. Vote Brent Taylor in the August 6th Republican primary. Paid for by Brent Taylor for Tennessee.
250 years ago, following an extraordinary victory that shook the globe, these newly forged Americans walked off the battlefield to create something unique in the world, a government that values individual liberty and justice, a system of laws built on limiting power and holding the mighty to account. They were young, they were bold, and together they wrote a document that changed everything. That document still stands, and 250 years later, the question remains, can we keep it? This October in Brentwood, Tennessee, students in grades 8 through 12 have a chance to answer that question and compete for a $10,000 Grand Champion Education Scholarship. More than $17,000 in education scholarships will be awarded in all. The 2026 National Constitution Bee, Saturday, October 24th, Spring Hill Suites, Marriott, Brentwood, Tennessee. Register now at nationalconstitutionbee.org. That's nationalconstitutionbee.org.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are joined now on our Zoom newsmaker line by Dow Prize Award winner for the best local journalism in the country, awarded by the National Journalism Center, an award that he won along with yours truly and our executive editor, Christina Botteri, our lead political reporter at the Tennessee Star and the Star News Network, the one, the only, Tom Pappert. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Michael.
Well, my goodness. We are trying to get Metro Nashville government, Tom, to follow the law, the Tennessee Public Records Act. They don't seem to want to do it. We've got this breaking news from late Friday, headline of the story that you're working on, we're going to publish shortly today. Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell, lawyers up, claims attorney-client privilege for refusal to release documents in $1.5 million in payments to pro-illegal alien nonprofits. When we got this Friday, Tom, what was your reaction when he decided to lawyer up on this?
This one very much surprised me, Michael. I was expecting another document dump. Perhaps they would claim they didn't have anything. Perhaps they would give us something that predated the mayor's administration, perhaps from 2022, when the city of Nashville began using Biden-era American Rescue Plan Act money to give these two nonprofits millions and millions of dollars. Well, now, of course, they've shifted that to the taxpayer. And instead, he did exactly what you said. We had a very short response saying that the entire request, which sought very mundane things that, by the way, seem to be covered in state statute, and they said the entire request, everything related to the genesis of this $1.5 million for the Tennessee Immigrant Refugee Rights Coalition and the Tennessee Justice for Our Neighbors nonprofit, everything related to it is covered by a privilege, by attorney-client privilege. I don't quite see the argument there, Michael, but as you said, the meaning is clear. They're lawyering up, and if we, the Tennessee Star, or members of the public would like to know more, we seem to have been invited to go talk to their lawyers.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk to them in court. Obviously, we got to sue them. But this is a pattern. It is a brazen and blatant violation of the Tennessee Public Records Act, and they're using the fact that they've got numerous attorneys and all sorts of bureaucrats there to hide what this $1.5 million that they're paying, Metro Nashville is paying these pro-illegal alien nonprofits. What's that for? It looks like it's probably for legal fees and other things to help illegal aliens. But, if they are fighting so hard against the release of these documents, which under the Tennessee Public Records Act, they should be releasing. There's no question about it. This is a no-brainer. We're going to win this case easily, but it's delay. Your thoughts on that, Tom Pappert?
I think that's exactly the case. But I think we're going to win. And not only that, but they've given away the entire legal strategy. And that was thanks to the Metro clerk. Maybe we have a friend on the inside, Michael, because when we sent in our public records request, we didn't know this, but we sent in 3 or 4 different public records requests because it went to all the different Metro agencies. And the Metro clerk is who last week also replied with 61 different emails. Very difficult to look at because Metro uses Microsoft Outlook. But once we were able to review them all, we discovered in one of them that a city attorney, a Metro attorney, Laura Fox, is the one who claimed that Metro is only actually has to follow part of the law, essentially only has to follow the part that says once a contract has been signed with a nonprofit, it should be made available to the public. But according to the city attorney, they do not have to follow the portion of the law that says anytime a nonprofit asks for money and then the city gives it out, Metro gives it out, then that needs to be made available to the public. And they claim that by following one portion and not the other portion, they are compliant with the entire code. I don't think that's right. But now we have it. We have the internal email. We know what they're going to say in court. And I think that your attorneys, Michael, when and if you are able to find them, are going to be very interested in reading that.
Now, the other thing this is quite clearly a blatant violation of the Tennessee Public Records Act. They think they're going to get away with it, right? I don't think there's any question on that. They think they're going to get away with that. But I think that they have really stepped into it here. Interestingly enough, Freddie O'Connell has decided that he wants to, in a way, get involved in the gubernatorial contest. Now, what's going on is, Marsha Blackburn has this commercial out where she says we're not going to let any Chinese communists take over land. And in it, she crushes some Chinese fortune cookies. Well, oh, my goodness. So Freddie O'Connell decides that he's going to get involved in this. He does this little 30-second clip on Facebook, and he's at a burger joint, and they give him a Chinese fortune cookie, little fortune, and it says, "Fear divides, Nashville unites." He thinks that's very clever. Guess what Marsha does in response to that? It's actually quite strong. She puts out a little clip. Freddie O'Connell, the fortune is this. Freddie O'Connell puts illegal aliens over Tennesseans. Boom. Boom.
I think that's a forecast of what's to come if and when Marsha Blackburn should be Tennessee's next mayor. You're not going to see metropolitan governments or big cities like Nashville run afoul of the law like this, in my opinion. You're not going to see them essentially doing whatever they want to rule their population as though it's a city-state and not part of Tennessee in the United States of America. And it will be done with viral memes on X.com.
Well, here in Nashville, and it's all across the country, these Democrat-run cities, and we did a little search on that, of the 25 largest cities in the United States, 23 are Democrat-run. And then of the next 25, I think maybe 20 or so are Democrat-run. So basically, out of the largest 50 cities in America, like 43% are Democrat-run. And they all, and that's about 10% of the U.S. population, they all think they're city-states, and they don't think they're governed by state or federal law, which means they get all this federal money, all this state money. What do they do with it? Well, I mean, the record is pretty clear. It's waste, fraud, and abuse, and payments to privileged classes like, illegal aliens, in case you're in Nashville. This is like a big problem. And I think that this is going to, we are not giving up on this. They think they can get away with it. But we have a federal constitution, a Tennessee state constitution, and the capability and the desire to show the truth by litigating their violation of Tennessee Public Records Act. Your thoughts, Tom Pappert?
Everything you said is completely correct, Michael, and I would add that I think we've discovered something big here, and we've discovered just the beginning of it. We're going to go look at every other city in the state of Tennessee, and we're going to look at the other cities that you just mentioned, and we're going to, just as one dimension, say, are they also creating funding paradigms where nonprofits supporting or giving legal advocacy to illegal aliens are being funded by the taxpayer? And if so, what is the common thread of all of these cities? I think we're going to be able to find it, and I think that it's going to be very interesting to national media outlets, to potentially members of the Trump administration. I think it's going to be a massive story once we finish unraveling it, and it's all thanks to the brazenness of Freddie O'Connell and the contradictions and, I believe, outright lies that have come out of his office.
Well, you mentioned a common thread. I think I know what you're talking about. Do you want to give us a little bit of a hint as to what that common thread might be?
We've talked about it a little bit on this show before, so why not? And it's a little group called the Project, or the Vera Institute for Justice, I should say. And in 2021-22, they published a document that specifically outlined how major cities all across the country should use temporary money that the Biden administration was essentially just funneling to city governments, just shoveling it to them as fast as they could receive it. Well, they should use this money in order to fund legal advocacy, legal expenses, etc. for illegal aliens. In other words, keep illegal aliens in the country. Well, this goes back to what we've been hearing about for 3 years now. This, I believe, is part of the plot to change America's demographics, to aid the Democratic Party. And now we have the blueprint. We have the document. We know that millions of dollars went to these two nonprofits in Nashville, Tennessee, after the Vera Institute put out this document. We know that this document was cited in the contract signed between Nashville and these two nonprofits in 2022. And I suspect we're going to find that document in similar contracts signed between other cities and other nonprofits all over the state and all over the country.
And Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell is lawyering up because he doesn't want to release the documents that will show that and more. Tom Pappert, when we come back, here's the big question. How stupid is Scott Cohn of CNBC? Back with Tom Pappert.
Ponder this. I was a crew member of a sailboat racing team. I should tell you that I never really developed sea legs, so my contributions to the team left a little to be desired. As I recall, on one racing day, the captain put me at the helm. He must have been desperate. During the race, a strong gust of wind came up suddenly. The boat heeled dramatically. I panicked and let go of the helm for fear of being tossed overboard and lost at sea forever. Thank the Lord for the keel, a heavy fin at the bottom of the boat that rights the boat during heavy winds. It remains unseen under the water, but it is a powerful stabilizer during the rough weather. You know, the Lord is like a keel in life. If we turn to Him, especially during turbulent times, He will always guide us to safety. He provides us with stability during rough times in our life if we reach out to Him and ask for help. Run to the Lord in prayer and trust that He will lead you to calmer waters. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
This is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Solti. We got a wonderful email from one of our customers up east named Joe, and here's what he had to say. I started taking Solti almost out of desperation with little hope because I was resigned to the futility that although I was up to taking 2 statins a day, high cholesterol was something I just had to learn to live with. In fact, when I turned 60, after taking a stress cardio test, my doctor called me on a Saturday, which of course is never a good sign, and told me that I was clogged more than 95% of the people my age. I had an angioplasty and a stent procedure done at that time. Today, my stubborn triglycerides are only 1/3 of what they had been before starting taking Solti. My prescription statin dosage has shrunk from 60 milligrams to only 10 milligrams a day. My primary care doctor that I have had for many years still can't believe the results, and neither can I. Thank you, Solti, for providing such a wonderful product. And folks, I want to invite you to take care of your heart also by going to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. Use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% discount on your initial shipment. Thanks so much.
Lifestyles Unlimited is a real estate education group that gives you the roadmap and resources to start building income through real estate. You'll learn practical strategies for using investment properties to create extra income and make informed decisions, one step at a time. Join today for just $297. That's a 60% savings off the regular price of our real estate education program. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
All right, folks, I need you to do something right now. Go to johnfredericksradio.com and take our brand new 2028 Republican presidential straw poll. Who do you want leading the ticket? Don't let the elites decide. Make your voice heard. While you're there, weigh in on 2 huge issues: eminent domain reform and President Trump's tariff policies. Are they protecting American workers or hurting growth? This is your movement, your vote, your voice, your choice. Go to johnfredericksradio.com right now and take the poll.
Johnny Garrett's not some out-of-touch D.C. politician. Johnny Garrett's a Tennessean, a Christian conservative, and a proud father of 3 who's sick of the far left ruining our country with their radical policies. Conservative Johnny Garrett is proudly pro-life, pro-Trump to his core, and will always put America first. In Congress, Garrett will fight to lower taxes, cut government waste, and will always back the blue and support law and order. Garrett's fought for us in Nashville, and that's what he'll do in Congress. No to biological boys playing girl sports. No to communist China buying our farmland. And no to criminal illegals invading our state. Because with Johnny Garrett, what you see is what you get. It's time to bring more Tennessee to D.C. Send Trump conservative Johnny Garrett to Congress.
I'm Johnny Garrett, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Johnny Garrett for Congress.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. Hey, Tom Pappert. Welcome back. Hey, Tom, breaking story. This afternoon, Governor Henry McMaster at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, will announce his pick to replace the late Lindsey Graham in the Senate. So we'll just wait and see what happens with that. Let's shift gears back to this, Tom. Oh, my goodness. How stupid is CNBC? How stupid is Scott Cohn of CNBC, who does these, rankings of best states for business? And he's got a category, 15% of it is quality of life. He puts Tennessee at number 50 out of 50. How stupid can that guy be? Tom Pappert.
Stupid, out of touch, perhaps, is the better descriptor, Michael. This is the guy, by the way, who shockingly also does the annual Best States for Business list for CNBC. He's been doing it since 2007, and I was just going through the numbers this morning, and it's interesting that as Tennessee and, frankly, its counterparts, the other southern states that have been outperforming many in the north over the past 5 or so years, as they've risen in the ranks of the top states for business, all of a sudden in 2023, 24, and now 26, this Scott Cohn has decided to do a companion list of the worst states to live. And so Tennessee was ranked in 2026 the number 9 state for business by Mr. Cohn, quite a respectable ranking. But when it comes to the best state to live, almost as a consolation prize to the liberals who read CNBC, it was ranked the worst state in America. And you think, well, why? What on earth is wrong with Tennessee? You click and it's like trans people, climate change, insanity. So this guy is meant to be a nonpartisan, above the board economics guy, but I guess that's controversial. So we have to have the consolation prize for the left. I think now, though, because of how, like, you've had Governor Ron DeSantis tweet about it. Governor Bill Lee hasn't tweeted about it directly, but he kind of took a swipe at this guy by putting it that Tennessee was just ranked the number 1 display at the American fair that we had in Washington, D.C. This guy is going to be more famous for his bad list of worst states than his 20-year best states for business list.
He's destroyed his credibility. It's a joke. It's laughable. I texted him. I sent him a message. You have to go through like an agent, right? Because he's so important.
That's right.
He's so important.
CNBC. He's been doing this for 20 years.
Scott Cohn's been doing it for 20 years. He's with CNBC. He's a big guy. You can't talk to him directly. I went through his agent and I said, Scott, I want you to come on my show in Tennessee and try to defend your laughably ridiculous claim that Tennessee is the 50th state, the worst state in the union for quality of life. Tom, when the phone didn't ring, I knew it was the very stupid and possibly soon to be out of a job, Scott Cohn. Your thoughts?
That's just always how it is with these people, too. By the way, I looked this guy up. He claims to be nonpartisan, but in my opinion, he's clearly a liberal with an axe to grind who doesn't have the courage of his convictions. None of them ever do. If I was going to be audacious enough to go out and put my name on an article, maybe at the Tennessee Star, saying that, I don't know, New York, because of Mamdani and the communist governor they have, is the worst state in the union, and New York, followed by California, followed by all the other leftist states. Those are the worst states in the union. I would, of course, do a radio interview about it in one of those states because I would have the courage of my convictions. No, I think he's a coward. That's at least the behavior we're seeing so far.
Yeah, and do you know where he lives?
I could take a guess.
He lives in Santa Cruz, California. The crunchy granola capital of America.
This has nothing to do with Gavin Newsom's ongoing feud. It's almost one-sided. Tennessee forgets he exists, but he has a feud with the state of Tennessee. He does not like the volunteer state, that governor.
Okay, because so many people are leaving California for the state of Tennessee. I think we've got that clip. Let's play the clip of Tennessee Best in Show. The state's exhibits at the fair in Washington, D.C. Oh, I think that's just some like good stuff. There's no narration to it. Anyways, we won the best in best of show there. Okay, what's the likelihood that this is going to damage CNBC's reputation even further? Because everybody's laughing at CNBC over this.
I think the majority are, Michael, but it makes one wonder again, what is the audience they're playing to? Because I looked at Governor Bill Lee's Twitter account, and he's getting a little bit of liberals gloating about this, saying, Tennessee is the worst state to live in. And I imagine if you go to, say, Blue Sky, the far left social media website, they're probably laughing at this and saying how backwards Tennessee falls to the bottom. So if that is who CNBC wants to watch, if there's really enough of those people in America to make money for the shareholders, then I guess this was a smashing success. If they live in reality, though, then this is going to hurt them, in my opinion.
Tom, thanks for joining us today. Hey, just a reminder, great reporting, as always. Just a reminder, programming note, August 17th, our show goes from 10 a.m. to noon on the John Fredericks Radio Network to 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So we'll even get a little bit more sleep. We'll be breaking the breaking news of the afternoon. How about that? Tom Patrick, thanks for joining us today.
Happy to be here, Michael. Always a pleasure.
That's it for a very fast-paced show. Next, Rob Carson. Our website, TennesseeStar.com. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. Thanks for joining us.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day. People are out there saying, the Iranians are never going to live by it. But let me tell you something. President Trump is going to bomb them again if they screw around.
Hopefully they live up to it. And if not, the pounding's coming. We're going to do it again and again and again.
The Cats and Cosby Show, weekdays 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the stations of the John Fredericks.